Hey guys, Mike here from Meekum Knives, and this video has been a long time in the queue of videos to do. It's been about a year now that I've been grinding on the Pheer 454 grinder, and I've had a few of you remind me to do a review on it. So today I'm going to do a review on this guy, the Pheer 454. At the end of the video I'll share some thoughts, because I get a lot of questions on which grinder should I buy. And I'm going to tell you right up front, the answer is any of them. If you're grinding on a 1x30, a little 2x42, just a single speed, small beginner grinder, once you step up to one of the big guys here, the 2x72s, the variable speed and everything, it's going to be a big difference. Are they worth the money? Yes, every one of them is worth the money. Now, it really comes down into what features are you looking for and what are you getting for your money. Right? What do you really need in one of these grinders? Now, there's a ton of them out there. Obviously, I'm going to cover this one extensively and three other common ones. At the end of the video, I'll go over those. I'll break it down price-wise and what I would buy. If money wasn't an option, what my choice would be. Okay, so we got the Pheer 454. You guys have seen me grinding on this, tutorials, everything. And part of the reason that I forgot to do the review is because I've never had an issue with it. 90% of the time when you see reviews online, it's because they had a problem and they're venting. They want to go do something and say something about it. So they go online and say this thing is a pile of crap, and they're mad. They wasted their money. But this thing has seriously given me zero issues since day one. Now, Jose Navarro is the guy that makes these. I believe he's a one-man operation, so there is a 1 month wait. At least that's how long I waited. I don't know what it is today. But I can tell you it was worth the wait. Now, as far as features go, what comes with this thing? The base price for this model is, I believe, $1,800, right, which is pricey. All right, let's be honest, it's a lot of money. But for that $1,800, you get the variable speed drive back there, and I get the question: is that worth the money? Yes, yes, it is. If you have a choice between getting a grinder now that's single speed or saving up for another 8 months to get the variable speed, save for another 8 months. Okay, it really is worth the money. Comes stock with the, well, this model in particular has the 1.5 horsepower motor, and I run it on 110 volt standard household current. Do you need 3 horsepower, 2 horsepower? I haven't had a need for it yet. I think 1.5 is plenty, and it should be good to go. That's what I based the comparison on later. It's around a 1.5 horsepower motor off a standard household current. So I wouldn't go any less, but anything more is just up to you. I haven't found a need yet. Now, right out of the box, construction was well done. Very well done. I haven't had any problems. It was mostly assembled when I got it. I had to slap a few nuts and bolts onto it just because it's so big and so heavy that it came in a couple of boxes. Now, as far as wiring goes, the wiring had to be done by me. I paid the little extra for the option for him to get it started, which I'm sure helped, because you have to open up that drive and connect all the motor wires and the power wire, and then you have to open up the little box on the motor too. So, not the end of the world. Not exactly super beginner friendly, but I got the grinder going. It wasn't a problem. I'm no electrician. If I got it going, I'm sure you can too. So back to build quality and construction. I'd say out of a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it's about an 8 or a 9. Is it perfect? No. It's a one-man shop and he's a small business. But it's very well done and it does the job. Like I said, I haven't had to make any modifications, nothing to this, really, in terms of the build. Now, there have been issues with other grinders, some of them with tracking. Now, you guys have seen this a million times, and this is just the belt that was on it before I shot the video. It's a used belt, so I'll pop it on real quick, and you can see that it's tracking just fine. Tracking adjustment is real nice and smooth. No issues at all. Stays where I put it. Now this is at 30% power. I can crank it all the way up to 100. Still no issues, runs smooth. I honestly never run it at 100. You know, I could go as slow as 20 for some real fine detail work. I mean, I can touch the belt, that's how slow it is. Now, the drive you get with all the grinders I'm going to speak about later is the same drive. It's the K-back, whatever it is, the NEMA 4X, whatever enclosure that is. But it's the dust-proof drive and everything, so that's kind of your standard. The motors are a little different. I'm sure this is a Chinese motor, but no issues with that yet either. And like I said, this grinder has quite a few hours and quite a few knives ground on it. A lot of use. The flat platen comes standard with metal wheels. Get rid of this belt. So you got the nice metal wheels. Some of the more budget-friendly grinders will give you a poly wheel or a plastic wheel, which will wear out over time. So everything's good to go there. It's still nice and tight, no bearing noise, no nothing. And this is, you know, dipping blades, getting it wet and everything, so it's held up. Jose, I believe, packs these with grease before he installs them. Same thing with the tracking wheel, nice and tight, nice and snug, and the drive wheel as well. No issues. Everything's all metal on this. Now, you get the standard KMG style tool arms, which I believe are 1.5, 2 inches, whatever these are, 1.5 I think. So any of your standard grinder attachments will work. So if you have a contact wheel from another grinder and you want to use it on this, you can get it to work. And at the very least, you can swap this out. Now, of course, you have the adjustment. So if you want to turn your platen to suit your needs, that's there as well. As you see, sometimes in the videos, I'll kick this out and use this for contouring handles or something like that. Now that $1,800, show you this one, is assuming you're getting a contact wheel. Now, I definitely think contact wheels are worth it. This one is a 12-inch rubber contact wheel. Now, some of them will supply you with a poly wheel, which isn't as good as rubber because it has a lower melting point, but usually you can get away with it. It's really not a huge issue. I've never heard of anybody melting their wheel. But KMG, and then this guy will come with a rubber wheel. Runs true, no issues at all. It did, however, this wheel did come with high edges. So I just took a little file while the wheel was running and ran the file in the back. Just kind of knocked those sharp edges down. To be honest, I didn't even notice it until about 3 weeks ago. And it's been a year. So the 12-inch wheel package is what I have here, and I think it's well worth it. So no issues with that at all. There is one issue with this grinder. My one complaint. And I don't know if it's to keep costs down because everybody's different in the way they grind. Is this tool rest. Mine wasn't square. Not perfectly square. I don't know if you can see that in the video. It seems to be canted this way a little bit. Is it the end of the world? No, not really. But I do wish it had a better tool rest. But of course, a better rest would come with at a higher price. You know, as you'll see later. Some of the other options out there. There is a solution to this, and I would say a must if you're going to buy one of these Pheer 454s. And that's to look up a man called DD Workrest. He makes these. This is a DD adjustable work rest. I have a few of them actually, and you can see quite the difference. They are adjustable, like I said, so you can change angles. I'll pop in a picture here so you can see one. I'm not going to assemble it and goof around with it right now, just for the sake of video length. Knife maker hands already, look at that. Another must-have accessory. If you're going to go big, if you're going to spend this much money, just get it over with. Okay, rip off the Band-Aid, empty out the account, and just do it. The work rest, the DD work rest, I believe they're, I don't know, $200 or something like that. It's pricey, but worth it. Especially if you use your work rest a lot. Now, you know I freehand grind, and I still use that thing a lot. This one is an absolute must, though. This is the small wheel attachment. If you're just starting out and you're sitting there with a file right now, trying to file out your finger grooves, you'll never touch a file again for finger grooves after you get one of these. I got this one directly from Jose from Pheer Grinders, and it came with, well, it didn't come with, but I ordered these rubber wheels. I believe it's a $165 option for the small wheel attachment. So now you're looking at around $2 grand for this whole setup you see here. He offers the rubber wheels, and to be honest, they're okay. They're not the best. I honestly prefer, I'll leave that one in there, that's the 1-inch wheel. Some of these metal wheels. Now the rubber wheels will leave a nicer finish, but the metal wheels will not dip down into softer material. So when you have the handles on the knife and you're digging into that finger choil there, the handle material, because it's softer, will usually dish out a little bit with the softer wheels if you're not careful. I got along just fine with them for a while, but just be aware of that the metal wheels will actually keep it nice and flush. So, I mean, that's really it, guys. There's not much to it. Like I said, I've had this for a year and I completely forgot about doing the review because it just plain works. Every day I come in here, I turn it on. You've seen me blow the power on camera in one of my latest videos of the removable handle scale video. I blew the breaker on camera, and some of these drives don't like that. Like the one on my surface grinder, the Tico FM50. If you disconnect power while it's in use, it kind of frazzles them. But these drives come with a protection for that, so not that I would make it a habit, but just be aware of that. So yeah, like I said, that's really it. The one thing I did add recently, which I've had a few people ask, was the ability to let this tilt. Now some grinders have this as an option stock. And I figured I didn't need it. You know, it's a lot of money for the option for some of these other grinders, and I can always build one. I put off building one for a long, long time, and now that I did, I'm glad I did, and I use it often. So I've shown you this before. I'll take you off so you can take a look. So you can see just some heavy-duty gate hinges on some thick. I'm going to say almost 1-inch plywood. You got the base of the grinder there. You don't need no fancy piston. The spring works fine, and you got your drive wheel and the drive itself. So I know I'm getting sidetracked. I'm supposed to show you the tilty feature. You got the big old motor. So as you can see, I put a block here to prevent it from coming all the way over, and another block with a little shim on it, just to brace it. I might put a little post here on the edge. So let me put you down. I'll tilt it up so you can see it. See, it's that easy. You know, ideally, like I said in another video, you would bolt this down so you had a stable platform, so it's not sliding around like this. That was another thing. This is heavy enough where I didn't bolt it down ever. I push pretty hard in my grinds, and I've never pushed this thing off a track. I had to worry about shoving it off the back of the table or something like that. It's like I said, guys. It just plain works, and that's the whole premise of this. Is if you're on the fence, between a Pheer and a KMG or a TW90 and a Tag 101? The answer is all of them. Just buy one, okay? If it's got the basic features like variable speed, it's got a contact wheel, it's got, you know, maybe metal drive wheels are a nice feature. A horsepower and a half is a good way to start out. Just buy it. Seriously. Including the Pheer. Do I regret this one bit? Not a second. I would buy another one. Set one up for sideways use and keep one upright. I just don't have the room for that or the budget right now. Now, I know you're asking, you were going to talk about 3 other grinders. What are they? Let me get my paper. I actually took notes. You believe that? I took notes. Okay. As you can see, I took down some notes. Now, there are more than 4 grinders. I know. I'm only covering some of the main 4, what I consider the main 4. I mean, there's Burr King, there's the Wilton square wheel, there's the grinder in a box, there's the homemade stuff, there's the Grizzly. We're not going to cover that. We're going to cover the ones that are pretty much on the same playing field. So it comes with those basic features that I mentioned. Now, the first one. The question I get a lot, if money's not an option, which grinder would you get? Would I get the Pheer? I don't know. If money wasn't an option, I'd probably get the TW90. For the simple reason that the TW90 has the tilting feature built in, so I don't have to muscle this thing around the bench. It takes up a little less room. And that TW90 has an attachment available at a big price tag for a surface grinder. So it's a belt-driven surface grinding attachment, which means I don't need the green giant in the corner if I have that attachment. I mean, for the price of the attachment, I could get a Pheer, but, you know, it's just a nice option. There are nice options for these things. So it just has a couple more bells and whistles, is really what I'm saying. But it comes at the price tag of $3,600 compared to, call it $2,000 for a Pheer. Let's see. Now that's all. These all have the same motor. Well, not necessarily the same brand, but the same horsepower, same drive. Okay, so it's 1.5 horse with a K-back drive. That TW90 with a 12-inch poly wheel, which is not as good as a rubber, but poly is okay. That's going to run you $3,600, and I believe it comes with a small wheel attachment, so it's pretty good. 36 up is up there though. And we're talking $1,600 more than what I paid. The next one on the list, the Wilmot Tag 101. Another big boy grinder. You see a lot of pros using this one too. This one's $3,000, right? Same motor and drive and everything is fine. But it doesn't come with a contact wheel. It does come with a flipping plate, so you can flip it. So he's made a plate for it so you can put it on his side like that. But no small wheel either. So now you got to kick in the extra $375 for a 12-inch wheel and call it another $150 for the small wheel package. He does have a really nice work rest though. So you're probably up there in TW90 territory, so probably about $3,500, $3,400. And this is not including shipping, fellas. These are heavy. I believe the going rate to ship something like this is $150 in the States. I think that's what I paid. Ouch. I know, ouch. The KMG. This is the Honda Civic of grinders. The nice thing about KMG is you can almost go to the hardware store and buy parts for this thing. Everybody and their brother makes KMG parts, and a lot of these grinders today will accept KMG parts or KMG clones in one way or another. They kind of set the standard. However, I have had heard some stories about them having tracking issues. I don't know how true they are. I've never really ground on one. You know, a buddy of mine has one and it seemed fine to me. But those KMGs go for $20, $28, another $165 for the small wheel attachment, and that comes with a 10-inch rubber wheel, which is nice. But it doesn't flip, and it's pretty wide. It comes with a huge metal plate on the bottom, and in order to make that flip, you're going to have to do something creative. Right? Otherwise, it's going to take up a ton of room, and the thing's going to be 12 feet in the air, and that's going to be awkward. And then, of course, you got this guy, which I've gone over. So I'll probably pop in pictures while I'm talking of each one I'm speaking about. But like I said, guys, the bottom line is go get one. That's it. If you want a Pheer, get a Pheer. Jose's a nice guy. I've spoken to him on the phone. I even had an issue where I ordered a belt package from him. Right? And I'll just be honest here. I ordered a beginner belt package. And I think it was like a $50 option on his website. And I never called him when I ordered it. I just ordered it through the site, and that was it. And so the grinder shows up in the mail about a month later, which he said it would be a month, so the delivery was on time. But he forgot my belt package. So at that point I called him up, and I said, hey, you know, I got the grinder, it looks great, but I think you might have forgot the belt package. I don't see it. Is it coming another box? I got like 5 boxes for this thing. He said, oh, I must have forgot it. I'll have it sent out right away. So, and he did. He sent it out right away. No questions asked. That was it. I got my belts in the mail, and everything has been great since. So I do recommend it. Like I said, go out, buy yourself a good grinder. That's the end of it. It's nothing. There's no other feeling than when you upgrade from that little 1x30 to a big boy like this. It really is a night and day difference. The amount of versatility they have is worth the cost. But I think that's about it, guys. I think that covers it. So, oh, one more thing I want to add. I get this one a lot too. Is what should my first big purchase be? You're looking at it. All right? That's it. This is Mike from Ecom Knives. I'll catch you guys on the next video.